But yeah, so no last name.
No last name.
Heidi. That's your stage. Do you have a stage name?
No, just Heidi.
Just Heidi. Okay, cool.
I was gonna do one, but then I was like, no.
You could be Heidi the comedian. I feel like that would be cool, right?
I don't know, but then it's like, I don't know if I really identify as a comedian every day.
Oh, okay.
But then also, Heidi hasn't been an issue for me so far. I feel like there's not enough Heidis, so that it hasn't been an issue.
No, it's not really a comedic stage name at all. It's not like a comedic name. It's like German. It's a German person.
Wait, are we on live?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
We don't have to start in any. We're just gonna talk until we feel. I'll start it at some point.
Okay.
I was thinking about all the things I could talk to you about, and then.
Oh, I did bring tarot.
Okay, cool. Do you have that?
Yeah, I'll get it out.
Please have the tarot out. I was like, what should we talk about? I'm like, maybe I'll just find out what you're up to, because I have no idea what you're up to. We don't really...
Yeah, we don't know each other at all. I'm surprised you know my last name.
Well, I follow you on Instagram.
Wait, it shouldn't be on there.
I don't know where I saw it. I think maybe you've put it down.
Or like my email. Yeah, some people like know it somehow. I try and keep it under locks. I don't know. Maybe I need to stop.
What are you worried about?
One part job, like mixing and matching, and then one part like stalkers.
Oh yeah.
Just because my last name is weird and like, or it's like if you Google my name, like you can. I've had to like ask for my address to be removed and stuff. So I don't know. I'm just like.
Who's gonna stalk you though?
Like exes.
Oh, okay. You have crazy exes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I should have put that on the list.
Let's not. No talking about the crazy exes.
I'm open about them.
They're in other states though, right?
I just don't. Yeah, that's why I moved.
But we're not gonna put your last name because then, yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily like a real fear. It's more just like I'm very private about like.
Yeah. No one's got no.
I'm open about my life, but like private about my details, I guess.
Okay, but this is one question I had.
Oh, you have to reword that.
Yeah. What's your family like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You told. Okay.
That's a good question, though. How you worded it.
So we know each other through stand-up, but like I feel like. You do stand up here in a much more chill way.
Yeah.
It's more like a hobby.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Sorry.
What is like what do you like about stand up? What do you get out of it? Do you have like any goals for it? Or you just
I did. I think wait, hold on. Sorry. I was looking. I thought I had incense. Did I take it out?
Wait, are we going to do a seance?
Well, it just kind of helps set the scene for
Okay,
it.
cool. No, I like it.
I feel like I lost it.
The spookier we make this, the better.
It gets in the zone. Well, whatever. Sorry. I need to focus. I feel like I've been sort of questioning what I get out of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And like what I want to do with my life. And like what I guess is possible and what would make sense. Like I want to do something that's like I want to like be a unique voice and like energy. Like I want to have a positive or like inspiring role through speaking is kind of what I've found.
And you're
really
thinking
enjoy.
maybe comedy's not that.
Yeah, or like for a long time. Well, at first it was comedy, and then I was kind of thinking maybe it'd be a combination of things like comedy. I like got into poetry and spoken word, and then I don't want to be like motivational speaker, but kind of like I do like to like I have my spiritual side and stuff, so kind of like mixing everything together, and like activism too. But then lately I'm just like, I don't know, like coming to New York, I feel like it's so saturated, and then it just makes me question everything.
It's super overwhelming.
Yeah.
There's like a million people doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The stage name could be Heidi the Entertainer.
I'm just Heidi, though. I feel like I just am who I am, you know? Because I change who I am every day. But, yeah. So you're more, like, diligent with it, and you're also into acting.
Yeah. I'm just diligent because I feel like I have to be. That's how I deal with the being overwhelmed. I'm like, well, I came here to do comedy. So it's like, I'm going to do it very structured and, like, a lot, you know? Because I'm like, this must be the only way. The only possible way. To get anything done doing comedy.
Yeah. I mean, does that work?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ahead of where I was when I got here. I feel better.
That's good. Just like in general?
Yeah.
Or comedy or both?
I know more comedians.
Yeah.
I'll show up to mics and I'll like know most of the people. That's fun. That feels pretty good. You're like, hey.
Yeah, then it's like social.
Yeah.
New Orleans was really nice. I'd be more encouraged to go to open mics because a lot of friends were there.
Yeah.
But then eventually I got sick of it because
it's too much.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the exact same people. The same.
Yeah.
So I asked you what you've been up to lately, and you said you'd been doing magic.
Oh.
So I feel like we need to address that. Like, when you say you do tarot, like, what does it mean? Like, why? And how?
And
what?
Yes, tarot. So have you ever, like, read tarot or seen someone get read tarot? So, I mean, it's basically like intuition. Do you like intuition? What are your baseline thoughts on intuition?
I don't know. I think sometimes I have it about something.
Yeah.
Like, you mean like your gut feeling about something?
Yeah, I guess, like, how do you define it? Yeah, your gut feeling, kind of like feeling sure about something that maybe isn't perfectly logical or just being really drawn to something.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it's weird. Like, it's weirdly accurate.
Yeah. So
what is the tarot?
So I think of tarot as just helping you reach your intuition.
Okay.
So it's almost kind of like a validation. Like, it's magic, but like I've done readings for other people. I'm not like super
Are you starting
professional. I just I do them for myself fairly regularly, and then I'll do them for friends anytime someone wants me to. But usually, like, I'll do like a meditation for a moment to try and like tap in and like whatever, and like people find it helpful. But the thing is, like, I'll kind of like put what I'm feeling in my intuition and like using the cards as a tool basically, and then the other person will feed off of that and like what clicks for them. So
how does it work? How do you like do a reading? Like, is it like?
I'll show you like.
Okay, please. I'm
fascinated
by this.
No, I am too. I got really into like watching tarot during lockdown, and then. And I also like grew up really religiously, so I think I was taught this was evil, and I kind of had to.
Do you grow up in Louisiana?
No, in Oregon.
Oregon. What was the denomination? Was it like Christian?
Christian, yeah. They were pretty intense.
Was it like some? What was it called?
In tugs. They're called Foursquare, but I don't think that's a well-known. You know? No.
Just the fact that it's called Foursquare is like an ominous somehow.
I know. It's like
when it's like an abstract thing, you're like. This has to be very scary.
It was scary. There were like demons and stuff when I was very young. But so there's different. It's kind of like a deck of cards in a way. These would be kind of like, what are they called? Face cards. So they all have specific energies, meanings, and then there's suits. I guess you would call them wands, swords, and cups. And where's the last one? Pentacles.
Where do you get a deck?
Anywhere. Well, now they're really popular. You can buy them at a bookstore, like online. Okay. In New Orleans, there's this great shop called House of Hoodoo. I used to live near.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Was that on magazine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, right off St. Charles.
Okay.
So that's where I got these. What? Oh, here we go. Okay. So each suit has, and it's also like interconnected with astrology kind of. So each one has a different energy. Swords are like air, thoughts, thinking, writing, saying, doing.
Mm-hmm.
Wands are energy, power, passion, like can be related to career and love. And then cups are like emotions, like water energy. Oh, this one's fire. And then pentacles are like things in the material realm, earth energy. And then also like each number has different meanings. So you can kind of learn, you know, like 1 is like a beginning of something, you know, and 10's like an ending. And then there's like the king, and so that's kind of like the masculine energy of that thing, or the queen would be the feminine. And then there's a page, I think that's what it's called, and it's kind of like the juvenile, the child, like. But anyway, so then you just kind of go with that. And there's like a book that tells you the meanings. So I've kind of done a combination of like learning those, but then I like to use my own intuition and interpretation, so that it's not just like reading a book.
Like what got you into it? You just were like, this sounds cool?
I think I was sort of like opening up to spirituality during lockdown. It wasn't the time to do it. And I got into astrology then, and then I was watching tarot. I think one of my friends had sent me a video, and I thought it was really interesting. And I find it like inspiring. It can give me guidance and like help with problem solving, or like if you're feeling stuck. And again, it's just telling me things I already know, but it makes it really clear.
Interesting. Can we do a tarot?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, can we do one? I don't know.
This is the prep.
I'm fascinated.
I brought some stones.
This is going to be the most avant-garde podcast episode yet. Okay.
Well, so this one is kind of like writing, speaking, so I felt like it was suited for our nature of work.
Of course.
And then this could be like money and stuff.
Okay. Which we want.
Yeah. We're down with money. There's other things too.
The hustle and grindstone.
No, because it's not about hustling and grind. You have to sit back in your abundance.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm really bad at that. I do need to sit back in my abundance more.
But see, I struggle with that too, because I might sit back in my, what is it called, like, despair. That's why I don't do mics. Okay, will you just, like, split the deck or something?
Okay. Leave it a little casino cut.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah.
Yes?
That's fine. It's just, like, to get your energy in it, whatever. If you have any specific, like, questions or themes that you're interested in, or think about that. You can say it or not. Just kind of have
themes
an idea.
As in like what I want to
career, travel.
Let's do career.
Okay,
Let's do career.
But that's boring now.
It ties into the.
It ties into.
What's more interesting though?
Well, I'm like a girl, so I'm like love, but you have a like blossoming relationship, so it's probably not as fun.
I don't want to find out my relationship's doomed.
No, you won't. Yeah. And if anything, it would be like, maybe try going to a Chinese restaurant.
One of you will die soon.
Well, see, I don't believe in that. Some people do that, and they'll say really specific things. Like, someone told me I was going to have a baby or something when I moved to New York. And I'm just like, no, I don't really believe that. But everything can be metaphorical, too, so.
Not love.
Career.
Let's do career.
We can do career, and then we can always do another one. Okay. I like to pull like 3 at a time. That's just kind of how I like to
do. Do what you feels best.
And I'm still like not good at shuffling. This is good though, because you don't have a tarot crowd, so no one will judge me.
I don't have a crowd at all, but
you have a crowd. Okay.
My crowd will be very confused. They're like, this is very off-brand for Elliot. The episode's just going to start with us doing this, I think, and then it'll be like, everyone I'm not going to give it any context or anything. We're just...
Welcome.
This is the tarot hour of us, the Starving Artist podcast.
I lost my incense, so there'd be like smoke brewing. Okay, but I forgot to like meditate.
Okay, wait. Maybe my girlfriend has something.
Do you meditate?
Mm-mm. I probably should. I always feel better if I take 10 minutes to not do anything, just not even meditate, just be like,
just to chill.
I feel way better.
I know, me too. I'm bad at doing it regularly, honestly, even though it always feels good.
I kind of always get into that thing where I have to fill my head with noise. Like I always have music or a podcast or like just something.
Do you ever listen to ambient sounds?
No.
That's like the only way I get away from it.
Yeah.
And it's still something. Okay, let's tap in.
Okay.
I'm trying to see. So you have the Two of Pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
You have the High Priestess and the King of Cups reversed. So here's my initial thoughts. I guess kind of what we were talking about. So 2 things in the material realm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's maybe like you're balancing or juggling between 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps like your creative ambitions and whatever like job you're doing that's maybe draining a lot from you. And then so this card is actually big on intuition. So it's interesting that we were just talking about that. And like maybe doing this tarot reading is like a step of like stepping into that and maybe like following more of your intuition.
Okay.
If you're open to it or in some way that would feel good. And this is also like feminine energy. The High Priestess is very like calm, intelligent. She's, you know, you see her. She's sitting on her throne. She's got it together. So then the King of Cups, and he is reversed. So this is about like emotions. I was looking up, and so when he's right side up, it's supposed to be like you inspire people with your creativity, blah blah blah. Upside down, reversed, it can be like your emotions are getting in the way or like an ego. But I felt like maybe there's some like emotional block, or like maybe the emotions aren't flowing freely enough.
Mm-hmm.
So basically kind of like tapping into the intuition and the emotions, even just not like crying or whatever unless you feel like it, but just kind of like accepting like I feel kind of afraid that, or whatever it is, letting it be there, and then like that will help with the balance, coming back to the balance and being able to like pursue what you want and what you need.
That's it? What's the reading?
Well,
I mean, no.
That's what I got.
Okay. That feels surprisingly spot on.
Let's see what you have to say. So I'm like, I feel like this is kind of cliche, like me and like who I am first. But I'm just like, it sounds like you need to tap into your feminine energy a little bit, and like that's gonna help you a lot.
How can I tap into my feminine energy?
That's a good question. So, well, masculine is it is like structure and order.
They're like being more vulnerable, or?
Yeah, and just kind of more flow, like spontaneity, and creativity is feminine energy. Mm-hmm. So, like you're an artist, you're creative, maybe try doing something different, like that scares you, like but you had an idea. Maybe it's like doing what your girlfriend wants, like something that maybe you'd normally be like, that doesn't sound fun, like maybe just giving it a try. I think like women in your life can be a good source of like helping with that. Journaling, writing.
There's a lot of women in my life.
Yeah.
I have 2 sisters.
This is good.
2 sisters and mom. That's 3. That's 3 women. And then my girlfriend. That's
This is probably why you're not creepy and an asshole.
It might be.
Well, it might contribute to it.
Yeah, it probably has something to do with it. Why don't you just have disdain for women?
Yeah. Well, if you want to ask any more questions or any follow-ups, we can always pull more. Or if you're like...
What happens if we pull more? Like, what do you mean by pull more? Could we just, like, keep hitting, like blackjack?
Yeah! Like, you could either pull more on, like, a whole new topic, or you can be like, add to this. Like, I don't really know. Like, or I'm, like, frustrated with this. So
let's add to it. I'm interested to see what happens when we add to it. I don't disagree with any of that, which is interesting. I'm like...
I feel bad being like, tap into your feminine intuitive side.
Tell me what the tarot says. This is what we're doing. Why am I going to bring you here to do magic if we're not going to listen to the magic?
Yeah, you did ask about... Well, I brought it up. And you're like, do you do magic? I'm like, okay. Not like the card game magic and not like there's a rabbit in my hat.
I mean, whatever. I like all kinds of magic. Even if it is evil, it's okay.
No, we're all good here.
Okay.
Well, sometimes it gets tense, but I don't like to do like evil things. Oh.
That's good.
We have the childlike boy here.
Oh boy, that's so, yes. I feel the childlike boy. What is, oh, so you pull a whole new 3.
Well, maybe I'll just start with 2. You keep getting reverse cards.
Okay.
Reverse usually means there's like a delay or something, some resistance to what you're seeking or what's going on. Let's see. So Page of Cups is very childlike. This is the juvenile boy, and the cups is the emotions, and we have more cups here, so we have a lot of emotions.
Many cups.
And this one's reversed too. And this one is like, you have so many options. You have all these options, but you're kind of like, what is it called? Analysis paralysis. Mm-hmm. Where you have all this stuff going on, and so you don't know where to go, or you feel like you don't have options. Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say? Kind of like seeing what's in front of you, slowing down and being like, what is actually in front of me? And I don't know, this is hard. Page of Cups. I mean, again, it's just like the child, like the play, which is kind of like the feminine energy, but maybe like tap into the childhood. What did little Elliot like to do? When did you get into comedy, or like what was your first like creative interest growing up?
Probably Legos or something. I used to. I think probably the first creative things I would do is I would. I was really into Lord of the Rings as a child, and then I would like make maps of like the fake mythical worlds, and then like make towns and make little regions.
That's interesting. So do you draw still?
And make like a history of it. I know, but I used to draw a lot.
Sounds like.
I used to draw a lot of weird. I used to draw crazy shit.
That's interesting.
Like probably the first thing I did, I would draw a fake country called Silly Language. That was the name of it.
The country is called Silly Language.
The country was called Silly Language, and it was full of stick people. And I would draw like the stick people doing different things, and I'd like name the drawing. I'd be like, "This is the inauguration of Silly Language's first president."
Do you still have any of these?
I tried to find them last time I went to my parents' house, but I think my mom disposed of them. She's always cleaning out the clutter. Dude, she was trying to throw away, you ever keep like a box of like school stuff? The school days box? Mm-hmm. Do you have one of those?
Well, yeah. My mom's the opposite, where I like want to throw stuff away. Yeah. She keeps it forever.
No, my mom was trying to dispose of the school stuff. I'm like, dude, I like it. And she's like, get it. What are you going to do with it? I'm like, well, what? It's
cool to look back.
It's a tiny box. It's like a box this big. She's like, I don't know.
Does she not have a basement, or she just like doesn't like to?
She just doesn't like any extra.
Yeah.
She's a minimalist.
I feel that. But then if you have kids, I feel like that's cool too.
I know, it's fun. She has a school days box in her closet.
What?
Yeah.
For her?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
I should point that out to her and be like, you tried to destroy my school days.
I like how it's called school days.
Well, that's what the box says. It says school days on it. And then it's full of like homework.
Homework? That's funny. My mom like gives a lot of our toys and stuff and like clothes from when we were kids.
Do you have it? What's your favorite toy from? How old are you? About like 33, right?
Yeah, about that.
Do you have like a shit, whatever? Do you have a Furby or something? What's your?
No, but that was my era. I really liked Barbies and like Polly Pockets, and then stuffed animals. Those were my things.
Yeah, I had crazy stuffed animals.
I still like them.
Where do we go from here with this tarot?
Yeah, I was asking. I feel like you need to start drawing again, maybe.
Interesting.
If it intrigues you, or maybe go to an art store and look around and see like if something sparks your interest.
Ooh.
But this one, coming back to it, I sort of feel like there's fear with this like figure here, fear of like success, like or of failure and not success, fear of like what could happen, what if not,
yeah, sure,
what if my like the stability, like with all of the kind of lushness, kind of like money and things and that, like those things kind of getting in the way.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's the scariest thing about doing comedy, is you go, what if I did this for 10 years and then I have a, like, if you really do comedy and you don't focus on anything else, you're like, what if I just have no skills in 10 years except for like going up at a bar and being like, listen to me, guys, you know?
Well, I feel like comedy, like, you get a lot of skills. Like, I think my confidence and ability to deal with situations and, like, speak up has improved. But yeah. I feel you. That's kind of why, like, haven't been doing comedy lately, is because I'm like, what's the end game? Yeah. What's the end goal? But I'm also, like, I can't keep working, like, 9 to 5s for the rest of my life. I just can't see it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do.
I mean, you can find some non-9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Just pays. But I mean, like, I want to be like in like a creative and like lead into my talents or whatever.
Yeah.
Like my unique talents, and like so I can help, or you know, like so I can be a positive like light, I guess, or something.
So how'd you get into poetry? So I know you do, like, you've started getting more, do like slam poetry? What do you call it?
I don't really know what slam poetry is, but is that like a competition?
I thought that's just where you go on stage and do poetry, but there's maybe a guy that's like a drum.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be cool. I think I wrote like one poem, and then my friends had a poetry night because there's some overlap between like comedians and poets, and I went. And then I just decided to say my poem, and then it was so good. It was so fun. I really enjoyed it. So then I started writing more and performing more. But I haven't been doing that as much lately either. I feel like depression really leans to poetry, and I like don't always want to be in my feelings.
You can't write a happy poem.
Yeah, but I think it's fun because you can kind of be a little more dramatic and you can get darker with it than comedy, and you can there's like no rules. You can tap more into the emotion, but I think it sort of helped comedy also because it helped me sort of lean into my comedy emotion, or like the feeling that I had that made me write that joke or something. But it was like helping me a lot, and then I think I sort of took a break and have been out of it since. But
can I do a tarot reading for you?
Sure, yeah.
I was about to say, like, you're doing a tarot reading. I feel like I've brought you to be interviewed. I should do a tarot reading for you.
Do it.
But then you would do the reading, probably, right?
No. Well, you could do. I actually like.
Is it just like I'm supposed to interpret the cards?
Yeah, well, so, like, I actually did this with one of my friends who had never done it before, I think. And I think having a fresh pair of eyes, you just kind of see what you see, so it can be
Should I shuffle?
refreshing. Yeah. But not like a deck of cards.
Okay.
Not like that.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we should leave these out, because you already had them. I don't know what the rules are. I don't believe in rules.
There's no rules to tarot. You can't do tarot with rules. No.
This is fun.
This is not the way.
What am I reading now?
Did they actually say, like, in your church growing up that you can't do magic, like, specifically?
They were very into, like, satanic, like...
Because I grew up, like, Protestant Christian, and it's like none of this ever came up.
Oh.
They would never be like, you can't be doing
I wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter, like, Ouija boards.
Oh, shit.
Tarot, demons. Well, they were...
Harry Potter.
The thing is, like, I feel like the church was really into demons and, like, Satan
Yeah,
stuff.
that's spooky as hell.
Like, they're the ones who brought it up.
Yeah, they're like, dude, first off, there are demons, and they'll fucking take you over if you do cool stuff, you know? Like, I don't know. It's like, as a child, that'd be fascinating.
Yeah, I was scared.
The demons.
I think I'm still scared of hell. But...
Then they'd have people speaking tongues in church.
Yeah, when I was very young, like 11.
Yeah.
I remember.
Was it like everyone would be speaking tongues? Was it one of those churches where everyone's kind of like standing around the altar and then someone's sort of leading things, but it's a little bit of a freestyle?
Well, this was at a church camp, I guess. And it was a big church, so there were a bunch of people, and then they were like, you can pray to receive tongues. So then the older people were like praying for the kids to be able to speak in tongues, and they're like, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like scared, so I left.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. Yeah.
I was an obsessive child, so I used to like read the Bible religiously to try not to go to hell.
It's funny in the Bible though, they're like, oh yeah, they spoke in tongues and everyone could understand them.
Yeah.
So but when you just do tongue, when you're just like,
well, I think it's that God can understand, or you're like speaking in a God language, a silly language.
Speaking in a silly language.
Silly God language.
Okay, so what do? I just draw 3 cards, or do we have to focus on something?
Wherever. I kind of like doing it open-ended because I feel like there's a lot floating around in my life right now.
Okay. Apparently, dude, we're doing magic.
We're doing magic.
We're doing podcast magic, bro. This is the magic episode of Starving Artist. Was that bad that I flipped it myself?
No, you can just do what feels right.
Okay, cool.
Look at you doing your intuition. Your High Priestess card is very excited.
I should not have... I gave you 2 reverse cards. Am I supposed to interpret this? Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. I hate now. See, that's...
You call on Christ and he will help you.
Oh my goodness. The Queen of Pentacles. What is her deal? Am I supposed to tell you?
Well, what do you see? I mean, so she's feminine.
I feel like you're the expert of that.
I'm not an expert, though. I'm a beginner. Oh. But the pentacles is the earth energy, and then there's like the lushness around her.
This is a little like intense, like aggressive. This is like a militaristic card. It's like a lady, but she looks like sharp objects.
Yeah, what are those?
And then fearsome animals, fearsome creatures.
The Taurus, the bull.
Now, what does it mean, the number and then the world?
It's one of the face cards, so it's like the 21st one. But there's also kind of a story. Like, it starts with the Fool going out on its mission. And then there is like a death card. Is that the last one? This one is kind of like a rebirth card. Like So, wait. Am I getting them confused? No, I think that's right. So there is kind of a story.
And this guy looks sort of like a Christopher Columbus guy, you know? He's like, has a globe, and he's like, we're going out. Explorer.
He's off to explore new worlds.
Definitely an explorer. And then he's going to show up with his fearsome creatures.
Fearsome creatures. What's this one?
That just looks like
a boy.
It could be a lady,
a feminine
or
man,
an 80s rock star.
An 80s rock star with the cloud over it.
Yes.
So tell me what I need to do.
Very interesting. And is this reversed?
Yeah.
And this is the right way. Mm-hmm. That's a very pensive queen.
Yeah, she almost looks kind of sad.
She has her pentacle, but she's like, why do I have this pentacle?
Just want to drop it. It's heavy.
She's like, I don't even like the pentacle. I'm the queen of pentacles, but it's like, I don't even like pentacles.
Yeah.
No one ever
she only
asked
has
me.
one.
She's like, no one ever asked me if I wanted to be the queen of pentacles.
Yes, do tarot humor.
I think I like doing tarot. It's just...
It's fun to like just analyze them this way without being like, what do they mean? But just being like,
and
what's
then there's
going
a
on?
rabbit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the magic rabbit.
Yeah, the white rabbit. This guy has like roses. in
Maybe
the
it's
corner.
like you were meant to be a stage card magician. That's the rabbit. You're looking at the tarot. You're like, am I meant to be the
So I'm doing the wrong kind of
the
magic.
tarot lady? This rabbit's over here. He's like, you want to put me in a hat? Maybe you should put me in a hat.
See, this is the magician.
Do you like regular magic, like card tricks and stuff?
I'm like, out of 1 to 10, I give it a 6.
You give it a 6.
Like I
It's
feel like it
okay.
can be amusing, but I don't. I like magic, like spiritual magic is so much more interesting to me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And also kind of freaks me out when magicians do creepy things, like put their nails through their hands or something.
Yeah. Well, David Blaine.
Yeah,
he's like,
like
let me
that
just
stuff.
nail my hand to a table, and you're like,
Yeah,
well, that's
I
not
don't.
magic.
That's just horror.
And a lot of this stuff is like he's actually just does it.
Yeah, he's,
Like he's
just
like,
a beast.
I figured out how to put a nail through my hand without hurting myself. You're like, well,
Cool.
that's magical.
Therapy. I went to this like kind of, I don't know, freak show's probably not the right word.
Yeah.
No, it was like a funky show where they like put things through their noses and did weird shit.
It's kind of like a freak circus.
Circusy. I can get with the I like clowns and stuff, but just kind of like the do-do-do.
My mom, coming back to my mom, she once said a
She likes
freak show
clowns?
came through my hometown
Really?
through my hometown, and she said they had the fattest man in the world on a flatbed truck,
Wow.
and that you just paid.
In
You just
Louisiana.
paid to go see him, dude.
That is wild.
Yeah, Lafayette.
I watched this movie called Freaks from like 1930 something.
Yeah,
You know
Google
it.
Gobble, one
Google
of us.
Gobble.
How is it?
It's great.
Is
no,
it-
it's really weird. I think at the beginning they're like, this is not something that's going to keep happening anymore because of, you know, science or medical. They'll
Mhm.
like put arms on you. I don't know. Because I like a lot of the people were just like born
Yeah.
with.
So wait, what is the plot of Freaks exactly?
It's actually great. So it's this circus.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone has their own character. Like, there's one person with no limbs who can light a cigarette. There's a very tall lady, and then there's two short people, Germans.
And it's like cast like real people from
Yeah,
freak
they're
shows.
all like real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think and they were in freak shows, I guess.
Mhm.
So then the two short people are a German couple, and she goes, "Meine Liebchen." But then the tall lady starts crushing on the guy, and he leaves her. He leaves his wife for her.
Yes.
And then they have
The
their
very
wedding.
tall lady.
Yeah. Or maybe she's just a regular and she just is like beautiful, or I don't know what her thing is. But then they have dinner and they dance on the table and say, "Gooble gobble, we accept her, one of us."
Yeah, I know that scene.
And then I think she just wants him for his money or something. I don't know why he has money.
Uh-huh.
So then it ends and he goes back to his wife and she takes him back.
Okay.
It's kind of sad.
There isn't like something spooky that happens with the freaks, like they don't attack anyone or
No, they just have drama like everyone else.
beautiful story. I have to check that movie out.
Yeah.
I love old movies. I love old movies because they're not trying too hard to be realistic.
Yeah.
Like you'll just have a set and it's clearly just a painting of something, but you're like, that's a nice painting.
Yeah, it is nice. It's
Yeah. Then someone just comes in and says their lines. They're like, no, I'm...
well, films are great. I'm
Yeah.
excited for. Wait, so do you like acting more or comedy or not? One.
I probably like comedy more, but making up... I like writing scenes and like stories, but then I don't have as much fun acting them as I feel like I should.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I like making shit up, but I don't necessarily like doing it.
Would you like writing it for other people or like
Maybe.
directing?
I gotta find some people to write stuff for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will.
You gotta some kind of...
I used to be wanting to do film like directing, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but No, because I was like, I'm excited for your acting career, but it seems like you're not excited. As well as comedy. But I feel like they do go hand in hand.
Well, it's not. It's just a work in progress all the time.
You can be in black and white films. Old films.
I could make old films for no
cool.
reason.
Remember that movie, The Artist?
No.
It came out, when did it come out? It was probably like 8 years ago, 10 years ago. It was in a black and white, and it was like a old movie, but it was new.
See, that would be fun, to make a fake old movie.
Yeah.
Just make a movie like an old movie, but it's not.
Yeah. I like the dramatic music, too. The ones that just have lines on the screen.
Yeah.
Instead of dialogue.
You mean a silent movie?
Yeah.
Like you like Nosferatu?
Oh, yes, Nosferatu.
Have you actually watched
Yeah.
it? I've also watched that. I was bored out of my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty boring, but Nosferatu is a great character.
I mean, the way he just... out of the coffin.
His fingers coming down the stairs.
Yeah, that was a very bizarre. It's like a claymation almost.
Is it?
Well, I don't know.
It's fun too with old movies how they do special effects because they actually have to do special.
Yeah.
Now it's just CGI.
See, that's way more fun. I like bad special effects.
Yeah.
I like just any special effect that isn't CGI where they're like...
Like Lord of the Rings, didn't they? The new ones just... It's all just fake.
Yeah, like the ones they made in the early 2000s had a lot of CGI, but there was also a lot of like practical sets. The sets were all real, and then like the orcs would be a lot of CGI.
Okay.
But now it's like all CGI.
Let's talk about Lord of the Rings for a minute.
Do you like Lord of the Rings?
I'm a big Gollum fan.
You are. Have you read the books?
No, but I used to watch the extended version films every winter with my college roommate.
Damn, okay. I haven't watched them in a really long time. I was really into them as a kid, though. I wanted to be.
They seem scary.
This is why one of the reasons I think I got to acting, because I'd watch Lord of the Rings. I'd be like, I want to be in Lord of the Rings.
You should.
How?
Wait, you've been in movies, right?
I have been in...
Didn't you play like the rapey college frat boy?
I did, in a horror movie that's on Amazon Prime.
Send the links. I don't want to watch it. It sounds scary, but I'll watch the scenes with you.
I don't do... Yeah. I'm terrible in it. I'm so bad in it.
Really?
I don't know if I want to direct. I mean, if you want to... It's called Backwoods.
Backwoods. I feel like... Have I seen this?
No.
Like, I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but I
Maybe
feel like
if you
I've seen
hunted
like
it
an
down.
ad for it.
I mean, it was like just made by this couple in Mobile that makes sort of low budget sci-fi and horror movies.
That's
just for
cool.
kicks, and then they make them and then they try and sell them to a distributor.
Okay.
So like there was probably like a little ad campaign that was done for it
Maybe
that you
it's
might
way.
have run across. You might have been like,
Did they just put it on Amazon?
It might be on Vudu
Oh, I love
or like
Voodoo.
Tubi or something also. It's definitely on Vudu, but it's on Amazon Prime. And my acting is...
You didn't like it?
No, it's not good.
What kind of role would you like to play?
Yeah, I don't like being a frat douche.
Yeah.
That's not really my vibe.
No, you have the women influences in your life.
Very feminine influences in my life. I don't know what I'd like to play, actually.
But it sounds like you created worlds, so perhaps you could write
Maybe I should write fantasy.
fantasy.
I think I would like to write fantasy.
Yeah.
My favorite shit. But I'm always just afraid of being a nerd.
I feel like nerds are cool now, though.
I know. See, I've known this. I'm afraid of letting my inner nerd shine through.
Yeah, I think I never really got into that stuff, but now I'm like, maybe I do like this stuff. Because I was like, it's fake. But entering a new world is so fun.
Was Lord of the Rings not cool when you were growing up?
I mean, I think I thought it was like a boy thing, but my roommate really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love like creatures, so
Yes.
that's why I love Gollum, and I liked the... do you know the mouth of Sauron?
Yeah. Well, that's from the extended.
Yeah, the extended.
But I know of it.
And then, I mean, but
I
the
never
story
watched the
was
extended.
good. And she would explain everything to me, which I liked.
How long would it take you to watch the extended version? Because isn't it like 10 hours?
Yeah, well, so each one was split into 2 movies.
Mhm.
So they were each like an hour and a half, so it was perfect. So we'd watch one each night, or like every few nights. We used to like have people over every winter. It would like get us through the winter.
Wait, but the originals are like 3 hours each, right?
Yeah. No, because so the extended were like 4 hours, but they split it into 2 parts.
Oh,
we'd
so it'd be
watch
like
part
2
1.
hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was way more digestible that way.
Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Just
I
an
haven't
hour.
seen it.
You never saw Game of Thrones.
I just like missed it, you know?
It's
now it's
awesome.
over, I can't go back.
Yeah, you totally can, but then you just don't watch the final season because
But it sounds like drama, like violence and rapes and incest. I don't know.
it's pretty. It's not like whimsical fantasy as much
I
as
like
Lord of the Rings.
whimsical. I like a little bit of drama, but
Do you read a lot?
I would say no, but I do read.
You should try reading the Lord of the Rings.
It's gonna take an ages.
No. It's way more whimsical than the movies.
Okay.
It's so whimsical and it's like a quick read.
Is it?
You think it's long because the movies are kind of an ordeal,
Oh,
but they're
interesting.
not. The books are not.
Can it be audiobook?
I'm sure you can. I'm sure it's
Because
an
I actually
audiobook.
like audiobooks. I feel like I could go on a long walk.
It must
and
have
listen
an
to it.
audiobook.
Yeah. I've been like getting back into reading though. I've been reading like young adult books. That's my way to get back into it. And I just like went to this bookstore in Park Slope called the Ripped Bodice or
Yeah.
Bodice. You know what I'm talking
The Bodice
about?
Ripper?
It's like all supposed to be romance novels.
Yeah.
Which I'm not into like super romance or like erotica
Mhm.
like that, but I'm like with movies I like a relationship. I just don't like when it's over the top.
Yeah.
Like drama, romance, and whatever. So I was in there, and they have a ton of stuff, and they had a full fantasy section. So I feel like I need to get into. That's where I was like, I need to get into fantasy. They have ones where this girl moves in with a vampire, and then like has a crush on him, and I'm like, that sounds great.
You see, the fantasy is like the relationships are a little bit secondary to the goofy things that are happening.
Yeah.
But they'll just throw in something. They'll be like, also, this is kind of cool.
Yes, I read this really weird book that was like it took place in like an artificial time that was kind of like Chicago, but in the 20s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But then there were fairies, but they were kind of evil, and there was like people were addicted to this blue liquid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it was kind of like a drug.
This is a young adult book.
Yeah, I mean, adult, young adult, borderline. But it was great.
Yeah.
It was like one of the best books I've read. And then I think that's when I was like, I need to read more books like this, where there's randomly fairies
Yeah.
that are scary.
Those are the best books.
Yeah, I think that would help me get back
You
into
need more
reading.
random fairies and
I used to
stories.
study history and would read history books, and I just can't.
Were you, like in college or something?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Why? What kind of history? Just general?
I mean, I actually really liked ancient history, which I think part of why I like that is because it was kind of otherworldly. It was like,
Yeah, if you read ancient
different.
history, they'll be like, there were fairies here.
exactly.
And you're like, all
well,
right.
like I really loved Greek mythology, right? So then I got into like ancient Greece and ancient Rome, and then China, and then
That's why I like every history before, I feel like 1500 is like they just throw in curveballs. They're like, well, then the dragons were here. And you're like, well,
they do, and then like what is in the Mayans? They were like they talk about doing mushrooms. That's not
the
same
Mayan.
thing. Yeah, but it's like a really old book. I mean, it was a really old accounting.
Is it the Popol Vuh?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a name of some Central American history book.
Oh, okay.
That was like maybe Mayan. I don't know.
What is your studies?
I studied econ.
What does that do?
And just nothing. It's just learning about the economy and how it works.
What do people?
And it's a lot of theory. No one knows how it works, really, is what it boils down to. And there's a lot of theory about how it works. And everyone.
It's all about abundance mindset
Yeah.
or scarcity mindset.
That's exactly, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff in my life, probably, where it was just because I felt like I should, and there was no real reason to.
Mm-hmm.
Get back to the tarot cards. I gotta stop with the resistance to,
I know.
whatever, my intuition.
It's so hard though, because it's like everything feels so intense and you can't just like slow down and do what feels right. But every time I listen, it's like magic. That's why it feels like magic. But I don't know why.
I don't know. I think I had a lot of, like, my parents had like very regular professional expectations of me, and I feel like, I don't know, what were your parents like? Were they into like you should be like a doctor or like a teacher or something?
Yeah, I think my parents are like in between, because my dad was a teacher and my mom did piano, so they're practical, but they're kind of like, they're like hippies in a way.
Yeah.
So they weren't like, go to be a lawyer. They were just like, just don't quit your job. Because I used to quit my job.
Yeah, I feel like I need more hippie parents. My parents were very like professional focused. They're like, you should find a career.
Are they mad about you?
No. No, they think it's great.
Okay.
They're chill.
Yeah.
Well, like growing up, it was never like, you should maybe look into getting into comedy or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like you should go to law school or something.
It's hard. Parents, they want us to succeed, but
I know, is that?
I feel like my parents are like, they're proud of me for pursuing comedy or doing whatever. They're like, that's so cool. But if I was like, I'm quitting my job, then they'd be like, you suck.
Yeah, we're done speaking now. You're
Yeah.
like, what? Oh, I thought it was cool. They're like, well.
They're just intense about what's it called? Morality.
Oh, okay.
They're like, money is not important as long as you survive. But don't be sinful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They want you to be like a
cool?
I don't know. I guess it depends what you think is sinful.
They wouldn't let me do anything.
Oh, yeah,
They shamed me.
That's no fun.
But now they're cool. They're better now. Yeah.
Did you ever consider being like a nun or something?
Ooh, no.
No?
That sounds terrible.
I don't know. It seems like it might.
I think I hated church. But now that I am have done speaking and stuff, I'm like, I could be a preacher.
I feel like comedy would be a good gateway into being like,
It's the same. I think that's what I'm realizing is overlap. Wait, do you know Brandon Haynes in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Because I think he used to be a preacher.
I think he did.
So it's perfect.
Every sermon starts with someone cracking a joke, almost always.
Yeah.
Guy gets up, cracks a joke, crushes.
Yeah.
And then he gets into, he's like, guys, but also let's talk about the story. And you're like,
Yeah, let's talk about this story. And
Yeah.
you can just get really like animated as a preacher.
yeah. Yeah, you got to be a preacher at like a church where you're supposed to get really animated. You could start a mega church.
Oh God.
Maybe this is like, see if we can read starting mega church into it. You gotta get on public access television.
I think so. I used to joke about this that I want to start like a cult, kind of like a cult church. And I think that's sort of like my pathway that life has been taking. That's what I was feeling, but now I'm just not so sure about anything.
You're not so sure about the cult anymore? Are you dating in New York? What's that been like? I did want to ask you that because I don't know. Like, do you do Hinge and stuff? Or you go to like a speed dating event?
I actually did go to this body painting, UV light body painting, speed dating. It was terrible.
Okay.
The painting was fun, but anyways.
Body painting is in what?
Huh?
You just paint each other?
Yeah, and it's like black light. And it's like you can get as naked as you want. But like nobody there was cute. So I was like, I'm keeping on my sweatshirt. But I've done like some dating apps and some like dating with meeting people. Hasn't been ideal. I think
it seems like New York would be kind of a dating nightmare. If you're trying to be chill.
I mean, I think it can really be anywhere because like New Orleans had its downfalls. I think for me, when I first moved to New York, it was just a really big adjustment. And so I was just trying to like get situated and I wasn't focused on that for a long time. And then I think I was kind of like open up to it again. Then like my apartment got broken into and it like messed with me. So I don't know. It's like Yeah, it can be definitely difficult, but then it's just a lot of people. I think dating apps I don't like to deal with it because I don't have the energy to
How'd you get banned?
I think it was an accident because
Yeah.
I put in the wrong email address, and then after I put in the right one, they're like, you're banned, or I think they like linked my phone number to it after, and then I wrote to them and I was like, no, and then they were like, you're a hoe. I don't know, but anyways, then I was like, fuck it, him sucks anyway.
Did you anything crazy happen on dating apps? Has anyone sent you anything like wild where you're like,
like a dick pic?
yeah, like I don't know,
I mean, like on
just
Tinder,
like a really weird prompt or something, or like
weird. Yeah, people can be nasty. I mean, I used Tinder like back in the day, and people would say some nasty things.
yeah.
But I think for the most part, people kind of annoying, or like I don't know. It's just funny to look, and you can see how like a lot of men's emotions are just bottled up. And they're like, don't be like this. No, you are. Don't waste my time. And like,
it's like something terrible happened to them in the past, and they just haven't addressed it until they're on a dating app.
Dating app. And like in New York, I've just noticed a ton of people are like, I've been to 900 countries, and I have a business, and I have abs, and it's just like, I don't know why it's so unattractive to me.
There's a lot of entrepreneurs on New York dating, isn't there?
Yeah, just like a lot of people who are flashy and think that's attractive. Mm-hmm. Maybe it is.
I
just want like a nice nerd who's like kind of fit and down to get into weird
magic.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I've had like a rough relationship ride for a few years, but I used to be in relationships a lot, so I'm trying to find my way again.
You're just letting it. You're just trying to meet someone out in the wild?
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
The problem though is like it's easiest to meet people at the bar, but I don't necessarily want to meet people at the bar. So.
Yeah. You don't drink anymore, do you, right?
I do. I think I just drink less.
Okay.
Yeah. Alcohol is not always my friend. Like in small business.
Okay. How's the mic on Tuesday?
It was really fun. I feel like it was more relaxed, or maybe I'm just getting more used to it now. Mm-hmm. So it was like hot. The manager of the bar came and took photos of people, which was cool.
That's cool.
But
it was so scary. It's so scary to host stuff. I feel like, yeah. I hosted my own show for the first time like a month ago.
Yeah, how's the show in Midtown? I want to check it out.
We've only done one. So we'll see how the second one goes. The first one was cool though. But I remember I was so nervous to host. I was like, I sped through everything really fast, and I was like, I could be doing a better job of hosting.
It's hard. Do you get nervous performing regularly?
Not as much as hosting.
You have to like set the scene.
Yeah, because like my regular material, I feel like I know it so well at this point. I'm just like, well, whatever. It's almost comfortable when I start saying it. I'm like, oh, this will be hilarious at the end. And I get tripped up if I get to a punchline and no one laughs. And I'm like, fuck.
As the host, it's hard.
That was my best joke. But the host, it's like you have to kind of like get everyone ready for the show. You have to prepare everyone for the possibility of good or bad comedy.
It's almost like a different skill, but...
Yeah.
Like Ryan Rogers, I think he said like, if... hosting gets you more comfortable on the mic at least. Because I almost feel like hosting the open mic, I don't actually get to like do
you don't even do your material that much.
But then I'm like, I am getting comfortable. It is like totally putting me out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And it is like getting a little easier. So that's good.
That's a cool little bar.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
I like that place.
The bartenders are nice. The locals are chilling.
I remember the first mic, there was that guy, he was like heckling sort of the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And then after the mic, he was like, hey, I'm an old comic. But he didn't do the mic. I'm like, well, why didn't you do the mic?
People are so weird.
Like, why didn't we get to heckle you, you bastard?
Oh, my gosh.
Damn, I don't know. What else should we talk about? We've been talking for like an hour.
Do you believe in... How do you feel about, like, repeating your material to work on it versus keeping it fresh?
I don't like it, but I feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Because it's like the only way it's going to become the best version of what it is. Like you have an idea. And the first time you say it's usually really fun. Like if it's good, it's really funny the first time because you're like excited to tell it to people.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's not always the best version of what it could be. And you can't do that unless you work it. But then you get annoyed. I get annoyed all the time with jokes. But what I do is like, if I'm sick of a joke, I just put it in the back of my head. I'm like, I'm not going to do that for like a month.
Save it for later. Yeah, I struggle with that a lot. And I think it kind of keeps me down when I'm not writing a bunch of new stuff, but then I kind of have to do it to like get ideas for new stuff.
Also, it's hard for you, like if you see the same people over and over, sometimes you're like, oh, they know all my material, but that's not always true though. No one's really paying attention half the time.
I know, and I feel like in New York, one of the perks is that there's a more variety of people. I also have like old jokes. So I'm like, they're so old, but then I'm also like, I feel like I never took them to where I wanted to take them, you know, so they have space to go, but I feel weird bringing them back.
Yeah. You're like, there's no, you need a spark or something.
Yeah. But I like.
You're like, why was this even funny? I don't even know why this was funny.
But I mean, I feel like there's stories that I like want to work on. It's weird.
I have that too.
I also want to do that with poetry. I'm not sure what the etiquette is there. I feel like, again, we just shouldn't have rules, but I want to like repeat my poems because I really want to be able to memorize one and speak it like memorized, because it's really hard.
Like some kind of ancient bard.
Like an ancient bard, exactly.
At a dinner party and you have a lute and you're just like...
Because then you can actually perform it if you're not reading it off your phone. But... yeah, I just have to keep talking about my darkest moments over and over again.
Yeah, it's not always that fun. But you know the Odyssey?
Yes, I actually loved the Odyssey growing up.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
But that's how you did it in the past, was like a guy would just show up at a party and be like, he'd sing the Odyssey.
Who's the bard? Wait, who was Homer? There it is.
Yeah.
So Homer became immortal because he wrote it down, and now he lives on. That's what they taught me in my class.
He did. We don't even know anything about him, but we're like, he must have been a cool guy.
Yeah.
We know that.
The Odyssey is wild.
He must have been locked in a room. But I wonder if he was writing or if he was just like singing out loud.
I feel like what was so different about him is that he was one of the first, or maybe the first, to write down his poetry.
Maybe.
I could be making this up.
I didn't pay attention in class, but I actually read the Odyssey.
Yeah, I just remember, because I took all my Greek, I was like a classics minor or something. I was going to be a classics major at first.
Okay.
Anyway, but...
yeah, you just got fed up with the classics?
I think I was going to have to take Latin or something for 2 years. And that was too far along in college.
You're like, nah.
Yeah, I tried taking ancient Greek and it was like really hard my first semester of college.
Can't even imagine. And then you're like, when will I use this?
Yeah.
Well, whenever.
It seems like
ancient Greek.
Didn't the guy from Lord of the Rings, Tolkien, make up his languages? The Elvish.
He like wrote them all like for real. Like all the languages. He's so autistic, dude.
Yes.
He made up languages for like every race, but like he really wrote them out. Like there's almost none of the language like practically in the book, but like he had the whole language written out. He had it. Like he could speak
He's a method writer.
He's a method writer. And then he also wrote like backstories to the Lord of the Rings that never got published. Like,
do you want to read them?
What do you mean?
The backstories?
I do, but I don't. Like I like the Lord of the Rings, but I'm like, I don't need all the...
I want to know about Legolas and...
He wrote like backup history for the Lord of the Rings that's never published. You know, it's just like...
oh, wow.
He just has it. Like I think he meant to publish all of it eventually in some kind of giant... like the Lord of the Rings, he made like the Bible, like to where it's like every piece is like a different... comes from a different source, and then he made up sources.
That's so intense and cool. I'm like, do you have to be autistic to be able to do that?
No, I don't know. I just said that.
Oh, okay. But I'm like,
maybe you do.
Because I'm like, even writing a book sounds so hard, let alone one
this
that
guy's
is
writing
like
backup
putting
books.
this fantasy story together.
Yeah.
Like, I could write a book about, like, my life experiences.
I guess also back in the day, there was, you know, he didn't have that much to do. Back in the day, when you think of what you have to do before television,
I know.
he was, you know, he found a way to occupy all of his time. Never speak to his kids without social media.
That's so funny.
Without sports. I mean, I'm sure he could go watch sports or something.
What kind of sports?
He could watch soccer, whatever you really
When
want.
was this?
Like early 20th century. The Lord of the Rings was published in like 1952 or something.
That's not that long ago.
Yeah,
They
but
had
he was
TV
kind
and
of
radios.
old when he published them.
Oh, so he had been writing them.
I'm imagining a
He
guy.
had silent film.
He was born in like 1890. That's not a guy who like cares about television.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a radio.
I guess like they didn't really have TVs in homes until the 50s.
He probably
you
had
have
a
to go to the
radio.
cinema.
Yeah, he had to go to the cinema.
To see Nosferatu.
Dude, he loved
This
Nosferatu.
is so interesting. Okay, I really need to get into reading. That's been like one of my life goals for the past year.
So easy. It's really hard to put aside the time.
Once I start reading, I get into it, but like normally I'm watching TV and I don't want to switch.
Dude, read Lord of the Rings. The whimsy.
Okay, maybe
You're not
the
going to be
whimsy.
prepared for how much whimsy
My
is in
friend
it.
will be so excited.
See, because the movies are all dark.
Yeah, they are.
The book is not dark.
Okay, this is good because I would think it'd be kind of scary or something.
It's not scary. It's not scary or dark. There are dark elements to it.
Well, the guy who directed the films was like a horror director, wasn't he? And that's so he maybe made
I don't know.
Peter Jackson.
He definitely made them scarier than they were, which is fun in a way.
The music is so good too.
The world is aging. Like that opening is so spooky.
I am sorry.
Yeah. Remember the opening scene where all those?
Wait, what happened? Is that where it's forged?
It's like the lady's talking. The lady who appears like one or two times.
Oh.
The elf lady. She's like, the world is changing.
Oh yeah.
Bilbo's
Bilbo's a bitch.
Yeah.
Do you have any more topics you need to go over?
Oh, one thing I did want to ask you: how would you rate your New York experience?
Oh my gosh! On a scale of 1 to 10.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about living in New York at this point?
Oh my gosh! I feel like I hate it and I love it.
Yes.
I feel like I love it more than I hate it. But I'm very unsure about how long I'll stay here. But I'm not done yet.
Yeah, there's endless adventure to New York, but also it's all an ordeal.
Yeah.
Like getting to the event, you have to get to the adventure by public transportation.
It's just so overstimulating.
Yes.
I think it really triggers like anxiety and just overwhelm for me. But it's so magical too. Like there's so many times I thought like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I love New York. Or like this wouldn't happen anywhere else. But then there's other times where I'm just like,
like
maybe that's normal.
I think that's normal. But that's so funny that like people just accept that's how your life is supposed to be here. Like every other day,
here.
nearly having a mental breakdown.
It's just, I don't want it to be like that, but I'll give it more time. In New Orleans, it was definitely more like easier, I guess, in a sense, but it was still really hard just to adjust to a new place. I don't think I found good community for like a few years.
Yeah.
I was really kind of all over the place. And
You mean in New Orleans?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give myself time.
And the only other thing I want to ask you is have you gravitated to any strange cultures? Because like New York is full of strange culture.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Do you find like a Haitian restaurant you really like or something?
No, not a Haitian restaurant.
This is like the worst question to end the podcast.
Let me think. I feel like
Did you
I
go to
went
like a Ukrainian dance?
You mean
class?
like
I feel like New York is full of pockets of weird culture from around the world.
Yeah, no, it is like culture from all the world. I guess like I live in like Little Caribbean, so I meet a lot of people.
Like, did you
from
go to
there.
they had like some kind of festival parade day? I don't remember what it was called.
I did see one parade that was through Crown Heights.
Like, did you go to the parade?
Yeah.
Did you learn how to make a roti? Which I
No.
don't know what that is.
I have yet to do a lot of these things. But one weird thing I did that I went to this sex magic workshop.
Uh-huh.
That was about, it was so weird. The lady was like talking about demons and stuff. It was like too weird for me.
How did you
but
find
really
out about
interesting.
that? How do you find out about that?
It was at this place called Gaia No Maya, which is sort of near, it's on Flatbush. And they have yoga classes and a restaurant and like an event space. So I think I saw it on their Instagram.
Sex magic?
Yeah, but it was not what I thought it was going to be. It was a lot more about demons or like supernatural stuff.
Were you learning how to like summon sexy demons?
We talked about summoning. I don't even know. I think what it was you're supposed to like use sex to create magic, not like use magic for sex. Like, if that makes sense.
It's very
like
scary.
Yeah, it's weird. But then she taught us how to scry, which is like, you know when you like look in a crystal ball or you see it in the movies, that's like scrying. You like look into something to get, like it's like tarot, I guess, but you stare into an object. So we did that. It was really interesting. Anyways, that was probably one of the weirdest things I've done since I've been here.
I think that's the weirdest thing like anyone has done ever. I went to the sex magic course. Like if you just said that at an office party, people would be like, what?
I went to a full moon ritual though, and that was totally cool, but also weird. But like more.
It's like a druidy thing.
What's that? Maybe.
It's like some kind of pagan ritual.
Kinda.
You could have pagan.
It was
ritual.
like a meditation and stuff, but then the theme was like, what is it? Divine rage. So we had an anger, like they had like anger stations where you could like yell into a pillow or like push against the wall and stop. It was really cool because it was all women. It was like weird, but then it felt good. But all the people there
Cathartic.
were super cool. Yeah, they seemed like more my speed, I guess.
Yeah.
A little less like the demons.
I don't think if I knew, if I knew someone was into sex magic, I don't know if I'd trust them fully.
Really?
You're like, if they're like, I'm going to use my sex to make magic. You're like,
I mean, people use it to make babies.
and it involves demons. I'm like, yeah, I don't.
I know. I think it just depends. Everyone's a little. Some people are weirded out by my like tarot and stuff. But
I don't.
I think it's all your intentions.
Yeah, like it just depends how really how intense you are about something. If you're just like, I like doing tarot, I think it's cool.
I don't like
You can
to
learn
summon.
something. You're like, why not?
What about repelling demons? I don't really know if I like to believe in demons.
I don't believe in demons, dude.
I think of them as like a metaphor.
Yeah, that's how I've always thought about it.
Like being addicted to a drug or something. I feel like it's kind of like a demon, but not in a real sense.
I think a demon is totally a metaphor because it's like how I've never in my life had fear. Like if you analyze why you're afraid, it's always like just a person or a wild animal.
Oh.
You know, it's never. I've never been afraid and been like, it's because there's probably a demon. It's always like, no. I think that pit bull is not safely behind this chain link fence.
Evolutionarily or something. I mean, yeah, I think of my anxiety as like a demon, but it's just like...
It's like I'm worried that my neighbor might come murder me.
Yeah.
That's not a demon.
The demon is the thought.
Maybe so.
Well, that's kind of how I think of it. So it's just like a...
The demon is what's in your neighbor's head that makes him or her potentially want to murder you.
Yeah, demon. Yeah, but it's not like I don't think of it as an entity. No, it's more like an energy, or at least that's kind of how I see it.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
I think demons are definitely a vibe.
Demons are a vibe. That's
the takeaway from the podcast.
I actually like that.
I think that's how you're gonna end.
Satan too is a vibe.
Satan's definitely a vibe.